specific queries with our experts. But before that, a quick look at how the markets are faring this morning. Ankita, good recovery coming in. In fact, we are trading at the day's highest point.
Kanishka, very good recovery that's come in from the day's lows. In fact, if you look at Nifty, that is up almost 100 points from the day's lows. We are trading at the highest point of the day, as you mentioned. 24,454 is where we are perched at as far as Nifty is concerned. As far as Nifty Bank is also concerned, we're seeing a very good recovery. In fact, a 240 odd point recovery coming in from the day's lows. We are trading with gains of 0.5% on Nifty Bank as well. Now, especially the PSU pack that is doing very well in trade. In fact, that's the top sectoral gainer that's leading from the front. That's trading with gains of almost 1.5%, 1.8% right now in trade. In fact, all the Nifty PSU bank constituents are trading in the green right now, especially Indian Bank, SBI, Union Bank, Bank of Baroda, Indian Bank. All of them are trading with gains of almost 1.5+%. Besides that, Nifty Realty, that has been a laggard for a while now, we're seeing good recovery coming in Nifty Realty also. That's trading up 1%. Brigade Enterprise is trading with gains of almost 2% in trade. Nifty Auto, Energy, all of them are in the green. In fact, today the market breadth looks positive. All the sectors are trading in the green right now. As far as the broader markets are concerned, then broader markets also seem to be doing very well. They're lending support. Mid caps trading with gains of 0.5%. Small caps are also trading with gains of 0.3%. Lots of stock specific moves also coming in, but a special mention for India Wix. That has jumped up 3.6% right now. 12.47 is where India Wix is at. So there's volatility in the market because India Wix has also jumped up. But market breadth is tilted in the favor of advances right now. A couple of individual buzzers that are in focus, on the back of results or on the back of news flow. We have ICICI Bank. That's under pressure after it raised its minimum balance of saving accounts, to 50,000 rupees. We also have Manappuram Finance that is in focus on the back of quarter one results. That stock is up 2.3%. We also had Grasim that is soaring away in trade on the back of quarter one results. Tata Motors also trading up despite actually a knock coming in on Tata Motors profits. We do see Tata Motors also doing very well today in trade. Besides that, we have a couple of other names that have seen a spurt in the last few minutes. That's Trent, Adani Green, Zydus Life Sciences. These are seeing last minute spurts coming in on these counters. Besides that, we also have Mahindra Logistics that's in focus. We have Siemens in focus on the back of a brokerage note. We have Lupin as it's launched, it's a glucogen injection. On the back of these couple of names are in focus. So very stock specific action also coming in, but markets also today, Kanishka, seeing good recovery, a good start to the week, I would say.
Absolutely. Good start to the week, it seems. But to discuss that further and to get all our stock-specific queries answered, we are now joined by Gaurang Shah, Senior Vice President, Geojit Investment. Hi, Gaurang sir. Very good morning. Well, lots of global cues to watch this week, and we are also at the fag end of the earnings. So what's your assessment? What are you expecting from this week?
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Good morning to all the viewers of ET Now and to all of you all. I think it's only a pleasant surprise to see the news flows more so from the global front. The broad range that we expect the market to trade in, because this week is going to be a truncated week. Friday we have a holiday on account of Independence Day, 15th of August. So it's a short week, 4-day week. What we need to see is that the market should be able to hold itself, not given to selling pressure by the time we close the trade or either today, tomorrow, day after. The broad range for the markets, 24,000, 24,200 on the lower side and 24,500 to 24,600 on the higher side. Curtains down for the first quarter earnings. I think there are very few left. To sum up the first quarter earnings, I think the first half of first quarter earnings was a disappointment. Second half, I think there was a better color and shade. That was also one of the reasons why the markets behaved the way it behaved over the last maybe about 2 to 3 weeks, added by selling side pressure from the foreign institutional investors. Domestic institutions were net buyers. So stock specific move will be there, but according to us, I think we should see some stability in the market rather than gap up or gap down.
Right, Gaurang, we will be watching out for the things you mentioned, and hopefully the texture of the market could improve going ahead. But let me get on board our next guest, Kunal Shah, also, who's joining us on the technicals. Thank you, Kunal, for joining us. You can keep sending in your stock-specific questions. You can ping us on the number that's flashing on top of your screen now, and get investment analysis on your holdings and tips for fresh buys in the market. Write to us as soon as possible, and we'll get them answered by our experts. So let's get started. Well, the first question that's coming in for the day, this is by AP from, Miriala Sai Babu, who's writing in from Andhra Pradesh. He says that he has Adani Enterprises, he's bought it at a buying price of 3,120 rupees, and he has HAL that he has bought at a buying price of 4,590. Please advise whether to add, average, or hold in the medium term, and what are the levels to watch out for. For the levels, Kunal, let me come to you first. Adani Enterprises and HAL, both for the medium term, what are the levels and where can he book out, or should he hold it for a longer period of time?
Yeah, so good morning, everyone. First, I'll share my view on Adani Enterprise. So Adani Enterprise, already it has on the technical chart, it has given us a structural breakdown. So the view remains negative. Now it is trading in an oversold zone, so you might get pullback. That pullback would be an exit opportunity. The levels to watch out for on the higher end is 2,350, 2,400 zone. That could be a good level for exit the stock. We can see a pullback towards those levels, and then again the stock might continue its correction mode on the downside. So Adani Enterprise on bounces should be an exit. The second HAL, again HAL he has bought it at 4,500, so continue to hold. Overall, the larger term trend is sideways for the stock. If we break the 20 DMA on the higher end, which is at 4,600, we will see this momentum continuing on the higher end. So since he has bought around the current market price only, which is 4,500, I will advise him to keep a stop loss of 4,400 on the downside. If that is breached, then exit longs in HAL. On the higher end, as I said, immediate resistance is 4,600. Once that is taken out, then the stock can go towards 4,800.
Okay, so those are the levels to watch when it comes to Adani Enterprises and HAL. But Gaurang Shah, now let me come to you. We have another query on the Adani Group stock. Now, this is K. Narasimha Reddy writing from Hyderabad. He wants to know your view on Adani Green. Do you think it's a good long-term bet? He purchased 50 shares at a price of 984 rupees. What is your view on this counter for the long term?
A small disclosure before I give the view. All recommendations on this show are a part of our fundamental research team views.
Right, there seems to be a technical glitch with Gaurang's audio. Let me come to you, Kunal, on this one then. What would be the levels you would be watching out for as far as Adani Green is concerned then?
Again, for Adani Green, the levels what I'll be watching out on the higher end will be 950. Once that is taken out, then you can see some momentum coming back. Overall, the trend has been sideways to negative for the stock. It has multiple hurdles on the upside, need to surpass those marks, then only we will see fresh buying momentum coming back into the stock. So since he's holding on the long side, I would advise to keep a strict stop loss of 890 on the downside. If that is taken out, then we can expect further correction on downside for Adani Green.
Okay, so that's the technical view on Adani Green, but Gaurang sir, I think, is back with us. So what is your view on Adani Green? Do you think it's a good long-term bet?
Well, so again, I don't know whether I was vocal enough. My audio was clear for the disclosure. So just a small disclosure, recommendations are a part of our research team fundamentally. Our company, Geojit or I, we do not have any personal investments, nor any financial interest, nor conflict of interest either. But we give recommendation on similar lines to our clients. They might hold their investment, holdings from a long-term point of view. So while the sector looks extremely promising, to which Adani Green belongs to, unfortunately, since we don't have a fundamental coverage on Adani Green, I won't be in a position to give a specific in terms of buy, sell, and hold. But the outlook for the sector looks very positive.
All right, so the outlook for the sector looks positive, and those are the views coming in by both Gaurang and Kunal on Adani Green. But let's move on to the next counter. This is Madhusudan, who's writing in from Hyderabad. He's bought Hindustan Zinc at 455. Please advise if he should be holding on to it switching to some other stock, Gaurang, let me come to you for this one. Hindustan Zinc, do you think that is a better buy from that particular pack, or is there any other name that you would like to suggest?
Metal pack looks promising, but unfortunate part is that news flows coming in from US with related to tariff on metals, along with that news flows from China keeps the sector under pressure. So specific on Adani Zinc, well, our research team has a hold recommendation from a long-term point of view. And our sense is that the realizations should improve in the future. The only request will be that, metal as a sector, if you decide to invest in, you should have at least 1.5, 2 year plus kind of time horizon, given the global and local headwinds from the immediate short to medium term point of view. Hold would be the recommendation from a long term.
Okay, so a hold call for the long term on Hindustan Zinc. But Gaurang sir, another query coming for you. This is largely broad-based. This is PV and Rao writing from Hyderabad. He wants you to identify a few stocks which have the potential to grow 10x or 20x in the next 10 years. Possible to, take a guess?
Well, this is a difficult one, to be very honest, because 10 years, 20 years, a lot can change. Whether these stocks will give you 10x or 5x return, again, I think one needs to have a very reasonable approach in terms of expectation of return from your investment in stock market. But I can give some investment ideas. So I think a telecom service provider, a company called Bharat Dynamics looks extremely comfortable in terms of futuristic earnings growth visibility. Along with that, an automobile four-wheeler manufacturing company, diversified product, Mahindra and Mahindra. This looks extremely strong. Last week, we saw numbers from State Bank of India. I think the numbers were good enough. So, and of course, the outlook in terms of banking and finance, BFSI segment, looks also very, very strong. So, State Bank of India could be the other one. Possibly, in the healthcare, I think Apollo Hospitals, I think the numbers are due either today, tomorrow. But Apollo Hospital from the healthcare looks extremely promising. So, these are all long-term investment idea. He's got 5-year, 10-year plus kind of time horizon. My only request is trim down your expectation in terms of return. Maybe approximately, I'm saying, 15 to 20% cannot be ruled out from that kind of a time horizon.
All right. So those are the counters to watch out for, and also perhaps temper your expectations as far as returns are concerned. But with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. Keep sending me your questions on the number that's flashing on top of the screen, and we'll take the questions on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Stock-specific questions answered by our experts. Let's resume with all your questions. The number is flashing on top of your screen, so keep sending in your questions. So now this one is coming from Ekam Baria, who's writing in from Hyderabad. He says that he has 50 shares of Dr. Reddy's lab. He's bought it at the buying price of 1,200 rupees. He says that considering the exposure that Dr. Reddy has to the US, almost, it has almost 50 to 60% exposure. He wants to know if he wants to exit the counter and he wants to invest the same amount in a separate stock, perhaps Tata Power. He's asking, what would be your recommendation, Gaurang? Would Tata Power be a better bet, like exit Dr. Reddy's and park your money in Tata Power, or is there any other name that comes to your mind?
As a disclosure again on Dr. Reddy's, we have a sell recommendation. His concern is absolutely valid, given the uncertainty in terms of the policies that President Trump is speaking about with respect to tariffs, etc. And of course, over the last week or 10 days, there has been a lot of unpleasant situation in terms of his tweets and statements, that is President Trump. So our research team has a sell recommendation on Dr. Reddy's. I couldn't hear it properly, but I think if he's looking at Tata Power as an alternative investment idea, I think the entire power sector is going through a lot of changes, and all of that is going to augur well, whether it is to do with government policy to ramp up the power producing capacity. Large part of it is going to be clean and green energy. Honorable Finance Minister has also spoken about nuclear power in the budget gone by. And of course, the requirement of power per unit as an individual level is also going up. numbers for Tata Power was also in line with what the street is estimated. So I think a switch from Dr. Reddy's to Tata Power from a long-term point of view would definitely make a lot of sense. So we would recommend a switch over here.
Okay, so a lot of focus on green energy going forward. But let's move on and get another query answered. This is okay, the viewer Anand writing from Goa. He's been holding Crompton Greaves shares, 100 shares at an average price of 405 rupees. Kunal, he wants to know whether will it be okay to average or add more quantity at the current price. What would your view be? And Gaurang sir, then I'll come to you. The viewer also wants to know if you could suggest any other stocks from the consumer durable basket to add to his portfolio for say another period of 3 years. Kunal, let's start with you.
Yeah, so firstly on Crompton, this has been the stock which has been one of the underperformer, and here on any bounce where we are seeing selling pressure. So overall, I will not suggest him to average it out at the current market price, although it is trading at a support zone of 315, 310 zone. This has been the demand zone for the stock. But I think this is such a kind of stock where it is trading in a downtrend. It needs further confirmation. So I will be waiting for the stock to take out 350 on the higher end. If that is taken out, then we get a confirmation on the technical charts. Probably there he can add more, and we can see that rally continuing towards 415 on the higher end. So wait for the confirmation about 350. Probably you can add again over there, and then you can expect the stock momentum to come back towards 420 on the higher end.
That's the view on Crompton. But let's move on to the next question. This is Narsimha Reddy, who's writing in from Hyderabad. Gaurang, he wants a long-term view on Marico. He's bought 160 shares at a buying price of 627. Marico for the long term. Now, Gaurang, while Marico is a domestic-facing consumption play, Marico, it hasn't really given, stellar returns, or it has been a slow mover. So, would you suggest Marico in the long term, though it is a safe haven, given the tariff uncertainty and it's a domestic play?
So, we have an accumulate stance from our research team on Marico Industries Limited. The reason for underperformance was very clear, not only for Marico, but I think the entire FMCG sector. That is the non-discretionary pack. And that was primarily because of, slack demand in terms of metros, tier 1, tier 2 cities. Expected volume contribution that was going to come from semi-urban and rural India was also at a very low scale. And that was the reason why the entire FMCG pack in terms of number delivery was underperforming. But fast forward to the current situation and the positivities in terms of tailwind. So you have tax benefit for about 12.75 lakhs. Then you have traction in terms of lower crude oil prices, lower input cost. And along with that, you have good monsoon, which will definitely help volume growth with respect to demand in semi-urban and rural India. So the entire FMCG pack looks quite good, and we have an accumulated call on Marico from a long-term point of view.
Okay, so that's the view on Marico. Another question for you, Gaurang sir. This is on PG Electroplast, which has been facing a lot of pressure today after its Q1 results. So this viewer, Swati, she wants to know whether she should continue to hold this stock for the long term. What would your advice be?
So on PG Electroplast, yes, I mean, it has been over the last, I think, fortnight, if you actually go to see, or even a month period, PG Electroplast has been under pressure. To add to it, there was disappointment on the numbers front. We understand that it is just a one-off. Possibly in the long term, numbers should start getting improving. And the entire consumer durable EMS chip semiconductor has a huge tailwind positive in terms of the policies of the government. And of course, kind of outlook that has been laid in front of us in terms of business outlook. So if you're a long-term investor, I don't think you should, look at the short-term correction and exit the stock. Hold on from a long-term point of view. We have an accumulate stand on PG Electroplast.
From perspective, PG Electroplast is an accumulate. But let's move on to the next counter. This is Murli M, who's writing from Bangalore. He says he has Siemens 100 quantities bought at a buying price of 3,245. He wants to know the outlook for the next 3 to 6 months. Please advise. Kunal, what would be your advice on Siemens from a short-term perspective?
I think definitely, if you look at the short-term perspective, the view remains positive. The stock has been consolidating in a downward direction, but I think now is the time where you can see some bullish momentum building up into the stock. So I would be a buyer over here in this, where the stock on the technical chart is also forming double bottom formations, and it is breaking out above the 20 DMA. So I think for short-term perspective, first I'll be looking at the first hurdle for the stock, which is placed at 3,400. So I'm expecting those levels. And once that is taken out, the next level comes at 3,700. So he can continue to hold for the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay, so that's the view coming on Siemens, especially, after its Q1 result that we saw over the weekend, June quarter result that we saw over the weekend, and it's been a mixed quarter with profit and margin taking a hit. But on that note, thank you so much, Kunal. We'll let you go. And also, we'll slip into a very short break. Be right back with more on the other side. Of Manas Jaiswal Technical Research Group. Hi Manas, very good morning. Well, let's start with you then. We have a query coming from Vinesh Gupta, writing from Jammu and Kashmir. He wants to know your view on ELGI equipment. The viewer has 200 shares bought at a price of 520 rupees. What would you suggest? Should the viewer continue to hold at these levels? What are the charts suggesting? It's up about 1% today, but in the past 5 days itself, it has seen almost a 9% downtick coming in. So what is your view? What would you suggest to the viewer?
Good morning, Kanishka. So if you're talking about the trend, I think the trend is negative because stock is trading below 200-day and 100-day moving average. Yes, we have seen some pullback today, but and you may see some more recovery. Stock can come in the range of 530 to 540. But again, on the higher side, stock has a lot of resistance. So I think on recovery near 530 to 540, one should exit from the long position, and one should create fresh long only on a breakout above 560.
All right, so negative trend on ELGI equipment on the charts, but let's move on to the next question. This is coming in from Komal from Mumbai. She says she's purchased 500 shares of Tata Motors at 750 rupees for the long term. Please advise. Gaurang, let me come to you for this one. Now, Tata Motors, today it's doing well. I mean, despite seeing a knock in net profit of almost 30% in quarter one. But Tata Motors has really been, under pressure on the back of whether it's the tariff news or it's the somber outlook by the management or the JLR commentary. For the long-term bet, really, is it a good hold on Tata Motors or whether to exit the stock?
So we have a hold recommendation on Tata Motors, and the numbers, despite of the numbers which saw a downtick on the bottom line, the stock is holding out. That means the outlook remains from a long-term point of view positive. Yes, there are headwinds in terms of the entire automobile sector coming under the hammer of tariff. We don't have clarity now, but we'll have clarity very soon. Positivities in terms of the free trade agreement FTA with India and UK in place. I think that's positivity. On the other side, UK's agreement with US in terms of tariff, I think that's also a positivity. JLR contribution coming through in terms of profitability, expected to do well. And of course, the new launches, along with, of course, the strong commercial vehicle business that Tata Motor has. I think don't give too much of importance to the short-term negativity in terms of earnings. Long-term, I think the target that our research team has set aside for Tata Motors is about 850 plus kind of levels.
Okay, so a whole call on Tata Motors, and 850 kind of levels is the target that you've suggested. But moving on, this is Matthew John writing from Kerala. Manas, let me come to you for this. He's been holding shares of ITC, Vedanta and Godrej properties. He hasn't mentioned his buying price, but he wants to know whether it's a good idea to add more of these at the current level.
If you're talking about ITC, I think it is moving very much sideways in the range of 405 and 425. So either side breakout will decide the next move for ITC. But if you're long in the position, you can hold it. Keep the stop loss below 404. In Vedanta, I think here the trend is definitely negative because stock is not sustaining above 20-day moving average. Again, on the intraday chart, stock has started making lower tops and lower bottoms. I think one should be very much cautious in Vedanta. Keep your stop loss below 420. If it breaks 420, then definitely you should exit from the long position. And last one is I think that is Godrej properties. Here also the trend is very negative. The stock is clearly making lower tops and lower bottoms, and it has already broken the key support of 2050. I think the stock can go down and test 1750. So here my view is bearish. I think on any recovery you should exit from the long position, and one should not create long position here till stock is trading below 2150.
Right, so that's Godrej Properties on the charts. But coming to you, Gaurang, this one specifically for you. This is Praveen who's writing in from Chennai. He says that he wanted your view on power stocks, PFC and RAC and Power Grid. Is it a good? Are these good holds for the longer period of time, and or do you suggest to sell on these calls? He's bought it somewhere around 2024 peak for all three companies. But now, what do you suggest from a long-term perspective? What about the power stocks, PFC, REC, and Power Grid?
So on Power Grid, we have a hold recommendation from our research team, and at the beginning of the program, there was another question on Tata Power, and the power sector looks extremely promising with the kind of new capacity that is going to come up. Affordability is also something in terms of consumption which should improve. You have new capacity addition happening in the next 3 to 5 years. So on Power Grid, we have a hold recommendation. On PFC and RAC, we used to cover these two stocks some time back. But the post the target price being in place, currently we don't have a coverage on PFC and REC. But the entire power generation, power transmission and distribution, and power equipment, all these three sectors with equation with power sector looks extremely promising. But I would only comment on Power Grid since we have a coverage over there. But REC and PFC are also strong candidates. I won't give a buy, sell and hold since the coverage is not there currently.
All right. So with that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. We will continue your queries on the other side. So stay tuned.
पैसा लगाना है तो
at a buying price, what should she do with this? Because she's a senior citizen. She's bought it at a buying price of 2,000. I beg your pardon. She's a senior citizen now, Gaurang. So this would be for a longer period of time. Bharti Airtel, what would be your call?
Second largest service provider, and as a disclosure this morning itself in our YouTube channel Geojit Spotlight, we've recommended Bharti Airtel. That's a disclosure again. It's the second largest service provider. ARPUs are doing quite well, likely to head up northwards much more because of the contribution coming in from voice and data. Subscriber base is increasing, and it is also a consumption related theme, that is the telecom service provider sector. Long term, definitely we have a hold and a buy recommendation, and since she bought it at 2,000 plus levels, I hope I heard that right, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe these kind of corrections in the market are a great opportunity to either start investing in strong fundamental companies or add to it in case if you have an investable amount at lower levels.
Okay, so that's the view on Bharti Airtel. But moving on, sir, another fundamental view is what has been requested by Ignatius, who's writing from Kolkata. He holds 20 stocks of Titan at a price of 3,560 rupees. He's been holding for the past 8 months. He can continue to hold longer. So he wants to know, are the fundamentals intact for this company? He wants your view for a slightly longer period of time. That's for 2 years. That's the time horizon he suggested.
Again, 2 years plus is definitely something that will be complemented in terms of investment idea. We have a buy recommendation on Titan. They acquired 2 companies. One was, I think, Didamas in Middle East, Dubai. Before that, they acquired a premium segment company called Carrot Lane. Gems and jewelry business is doing good. Wristwatch is also contributing. Titan Eye Care, again, contributing to the company. And the overall view is that, the tailwind positive of gold prices should also have a relatively positive impact in terms of earning visibility. So hold on to it from a long-term point of view.
Hold on now to Titan from a long-term perspective. But moving on to the next question, I think, Gaurang, this one is also for you. This is by Krish, who's 62 years old. He says he's looking for stable stocks for the longer term. He has Indian Bank. He's bought it at a buying price of 595 rupees, and Varun Beverages that he's bought at a buying price of 525. His views on the above, and what would be your recommendation as far as Indian Bank and Varun Beverages is concerned for the longer term?
So again, both we have a coverage on Indian Bank as well as Varun Beverages. Varun Beverages, incidentally, was underperforming, but has turned around because of all the good reason. There was concern on the earnings visibility also, but I think from sub 450 levels, the stock has managed to climb up to about 500 plus levels. Niche player in the segment in terms of beverages and the consumption that is likely to go up. Indian Bank, one of the mid-cap public sector banks, reporting numbers extremely strong. So long-term, both would be a hold from the fundamental research desk.
Okay, so that's the view on Indian Bank, a hold call. But moving on, Manas, now let me come to you. This viewer wants your advice on NSDL. He wants to know at the current level, should he continue to hold or sell? And if he should hold, what is the target price that he should be watching out for?
Can you repeat the stock name?
NSDL.
NSDL. No, I'm not getting the chart.
Okay, no worries. We'll take another query. So this one is Krish, okay, we already took this one. The next query is coming on Bharat Dynamics. This viewer, Venkat Ramani from Bangalore, he's been holding 250 shares at a price of 1,150 rupees. He has seen some profit and wants to add more. Manas, what would you suggest? Are the current levels all right to add more?
I think that the current price is definitely very attractive because we have seen a rally. We saw a rally from the level of around 900 to almost 2025. Then we saw some correction. The stock is getting very near its 200 moving average. It has already corrected 50% of its previous rally. So I think here one can definitely take a chance. One can buy the stock for longer term. Keep your stop loss below 1250. That is 1250. I believe that if it breaks 1650, 1680 levels, then again you may see some up move and stock can again come in the range of 2000 to 2100.
All right, so that's the view on Bharat Dynamics. Let's move on to the next question. This one's from Shekhar, who's writing in from Hyderabad. He says he has 200 shares of Arti Industries. Arti Industries, that he wants to know the short-term view. He wants to know if he should be holding on to it or he should be selling it. He's bought it at a buying price of 411. Manas, I think you should take this one. Short-term view on Arti Industries. He's bought it more. I believe he's sitting at a loss right now. What should he do with Arti then?
Okay. So stock has been making lower tops and lower bottoms from the level of around 480. And still the stock is looking weak on the charts. I think if it breaks 360, 350, then again you may see some more downside and the stock can go down and test 290 also. So here the trend is negative. I think any recovery would be a exit opportunity from the long position, because stock has a lot of resistance on the upside in the range of 400 to 410.
All right, so any recovery will be a good time to exit. Thank you, Manas, for that view. And on that note, Manas, Gaurang sir, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us today and helping our viewers with your investment tips and recommendations. Well, with that, we're completely timed out in this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. That's all the time we have to take queries. Ankita and I will take your leave, but don't go anywhere as Markets at Noon is coming up next.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा।